Good morning, and today is day 10 of our cruise. And today was kind of a bittersweet day. We're going through the Drake Passage, and we've been curious to see what this was going to be like. Whether we were going to have the Drake shake and have huge waves and be sick all day, or if it's going to be the Great Lake. We got the latter. We got the Great Lake, because today the waves are pretty flat. Winds, they're not as bad as they usually are. Today is no different than a day in the Caribbean. And as usual, whenever I start my day off, I take a picture of the weather on the TV. That way I know exactly what the weather was like today whenever I record. Also, the position of the ship, that always comes in handy also. One of the things you'll notice on the schedule of events happening today is Mass at 8 o'clock. And as luck would have it, I got to talk to the priest. And the priest for this trip was from Illinois. And I was curious, how did he end up being a priest on a cruise ship? Well, it turns out they sign up to be the priest. There's a schedule of all the ships that are going out and where they're going, and the priests simply put their name on to be the priest of record for that trip. And they get to go for free. So, excellent little program that Holland America has that is awesome. Of course, we're not Catholics, but we got to watch our own service from the comfort of our room. Yeah, the internet was good enough that we could watch our Methodist church streaming. So that's always a little highlight of the day whenever you could watch a church service from back home. This morning on one of my walkabouts, I got to see something unusual you just don't see every day. Icebergs floating around the ship. And of course, everybody has that wonder whenever that you see an iceberg. Yeah, there's a certain movie that has an iceberg in it.
Iceberg, going ahead!
Luckily I was by myself, because you have to scream, "Iceberg, dead ahead," whenever that you see one floating by. And they were huge ones floating by.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning!
I get angry when I say good morning to my officers and they just walk by. So don't make me angry. Okay, we are officially since 6:09 this morning in polar regions. You probably have seen the icebergs already. Yes. We saw them before you, and that's a good thing, right? Okay, Antarctica. It's the second time I'm in Antarctica, so it worked well what we did in the first time. So we break down the 4-day scenic cruising in 2 periods. Why is that? Because the weather changes so rapidly, and then we can give you the latest information. I can also yell at you if you didn't behave for the first 2 days, so it makes my life easier. Then I will give you some house rules about Antarctica. I'm very strict on that. So here we go. Okay, so we're coming from Cape Horn. And another rule, I never give you times. Why is that? Because ice determines how fast we can go and where we can go. So I'm not going to tell you tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, we will be off Palmer. It can be, it cannot be. And I don't want you to then say, "Captain, I set my alarm for 6:55 and you arrived later or earlier." So I will never give you times. The plan is tomorrow morning to arrive at Palmer Station. Yeah, this is from our EGDIS, our electronic chart display. Well in advance, you will start seeing the big icebergs coming at us. Once again, we will see them before you. Drake Passage, they have a saying, it's Drake Lake or Drake Shake. We're lucky it's a Drake Lake. This is from last voyage. I've added some pictures that was taken from Palmer, so you can see how close we can get. I just want to clarify, no one will go ashore. We already got one question about that. You are not going ashore. Yeah? This was taken by the scientists from Palmer Station. So Palmer Station is a research station, scientific station from the United States. And then as we get closer, they will give us an updated information on the ice condition. Now, how do we sail in ice? We rely a lot on ice charts. So for the entire region that we are sailing, we get updated ice charts. And then we see how, or we read actually the charts. For us, the most important thing is when it's blue. If you can read it, it means open water. Open water doesn't mean that there's no ice. It means that less than 10% of the volume is ice. We are not an ice class ship. So last voyage we saw polar ships plowing through ice, and guests were saying, why are we not doing that? I do not want to be that captain, yeah? So we try to stay away from ice as much as possible. So for Palma, it looks pretty good. It looks open water with some scattered icebergs. Now what's the weather going to be? It's going to be cold. The temperatures are in Celsius, so you can, for the Americans, you want to do it different in Fahrenheit. But it's going to be cold. Add the wind to it, and it's going to be freezing cold. So I hope you all packed warm. I once got a question or a remark from a guest who said, why is it cold in South America? And I said, well, it's South America. She says, yeah, but it has the word south in it. South is warm. So if I see you walking around in a t-shirt, shorts, and Crocs, you did not pack correctly. So it's going to be cold if you're out and about. Yeah, temperature's -2, that is around -10 degrees Fahrenheit. And the wind will be around 10 to 15 knots. I have my assistant somewhere here. That's a trip hazard, but it is. Can you show us Palmer Station, please? Yeah, so that's Palmer Station. So we will be drifting there a little bit. Normally they come out with the Zodiac and visit us. They will not come on board, unfortunately. In the past they would come on board and give presentations. However, they are still on COVID procedures, so they are not allowed to have contact with anyone above 60 degrees south. So then we're going to continue our way to Le Maire Channel. The first 2 days in Antarctica will be the most interesting days. You will see the most. Yeah? So keep that in mind. So that will be the trip, 35 nautical miles. Normally we can do that in about 1.5 hours. But with the ice, we will do approximately speed of around 6 knots. So we will go pretty slow. Le Maire Channel. This is from last cruise. All the pictures you will see is from last cruise. Yeah. Can you show the penguin colony where we drifted?
No penguin colony in here.
Yeah, there, to the left. Yeah. So, I'm not an expedition leader. Yeah. Okay. Next time you should dress up as a penguin. So, depending on the ice, as you can see, there was a lot of ice in there, so then we cannot go through. Everything depends on the wind and on the currents in that narrow channel. So we swung around there and put the bow close to where the penguins were, and everybody could see the penguins. The ice chart, because it's so narrow, it's very difficult to see, but it's telling us open water and open drift ice. So again, the side including bread or food items. May sound weird, but sometimes when we are in port and there's seagulls, people like to throw peanuts or bread. Do not throw anything over the side. Third, clean up after you left the outside area so nothing is blown over the side. My staff will clean up continuously. However, the environment is everyone's responsibility. If we want to come back here in 10 years, we have to make sure that we protect it today. So please, clean up. If you took a blanket or something or a cup, put it inside and then we will remove it from the inside. Be courteous to your other guests. There are a lot of areas around the ship to view the beauty of Antarctica. Why do I say that? The bow is very popular. Yeah? Everybody wants to be on the bow. We only have one bow. Yeah? I cannot make it bigger. If I could, I would. So be courteous. Don't stand there for hours. If somebody else wants to take a picture, say, please go ahead. There's also other places on board the ship. Deck 10, above the crow's nest, everywhere you can take beautiful pictures. Well, this was from last time. As we are experiencing high waves and strong winds, the ship will move and squeak. Even my cabin squeaks. It is a healthy sign that a ship squeaks. If you don't hear anything in bad weather, be careful, because it means that your ship can break. I do not want to be that captain. We will also have daily updates on the weather and the position. They will be posted on deck 10, crow's nest on the port side, where the arts and classes, we will turn that into our expedition hub. We will put the charts there, weather forecast, and very cool idea we had. We put papers where you can write your questions down. Sometimes we see people wandering around at 2 o'clock in the morning. If you have a question, write it down. The expedition team and my team will then answer your question. It was a huge success last time, so I encourage you, work with us. Yeah? We can learn from you, you can learn from us. We will have the bow doors open every morning from 7 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock. Be careful, as it is a steel deck and can be slippery at times. Yeah? So try to avoid the Crocs and the flip-flops. We are sailing in a desert climate. Sounds strange with all the ice, but it's a desert climate. So the air humidity is continuously dropping. That means the air gets drier also inside the ship. You will hear guests coughing more. That is not because of COVID, it is because the air is getting drier in this region. Air temperature is not the same as the wind chill temperature. To give you an example, 0 degrees with 20 knots of wind is minus 7 degrees Celsius or minus 20 Fahrenheit. So when you decide to go outside and you say, well, the captain says it's 0 degrees, that's fine. Don't get too cold, yeah? Keep layers and layers because it's really cold outside. And lastly, please wash or sanitize your hands frequently, even in Antarctica. And those are my house rules.
Our pool indicator of the waves is flat. The Drake Passage is still calm for us. And I see an iceberg coming up in the distance. We'll take you for a little walk over and we'll show you an iceberg live as it comes up. Another big iceberg. Look at this. So we're still another day's sail away from Antarctica. So we're still a day out. We'll be there tomorrow sometime. But there's an iceberg and a second off in the distance.
Yeah, right. She's gonna give you something, my Rosie.
So he's sitting up in this hole, he's having a bit of a breather, it's quite nice, it's kind of warm. It doesn't smell too bad at the moment, but it's going to. So he's looking down because there are other seals racing around, and they can see the light coming down, and they nip his flippers at the bottom to say, get out, I want to have a go. So he's fully exposed, so he's keeping an eye out to make sure he's not going to get nipped. There is I apologise for going off track a little bit, but there's a great story of a guy at McMurdo Station, in the American station in the Ross Sea. He had a fishing hut, and he left the fishing hut, and he went to do something else, and he came back into it. Now, fishing huts are usually reasonably dark. They don't have a lot of windows. We drag them across the ice. We put them over a hole that we've just cut. Now, he didn't realise, but there was a leopard seal that had actually dragged itself out into his fishing hut. And he walked into the fishing hut from the bright Antarctic sun, and he walked in, he stepped on the leopard seal. Leopard seal was enjoying himself. It was warm, he could breathe, didn't need to worry about anyone nipping his flippers, and he ripped a chunk out of that guy's leg. So we medevaced that guy out, and he got sewn up back in Christchurch. He was fine, so was the leopard seal. So benthic ecosystems, and this is a small clip from the BBC Frozen Planet, BBC One.
One of the reasons we like going on cruises is for the employees. They are the friendliest people you could ever meet. This is a yellow cap guy who just happened to meet us at our table today while we were eating lunch. Now you're going.
I'm good now. My name is the Yellow Cap Guy, just as like Bruce Wayne want to be called as Batman. It's easier for you because my name is Ushuaia. It's a little bit hard to be mentioned, and now I would like to say thank you very much for choosing Holland American Line as a place to do the glaciers, as the place to make a voyage to Antarctica. A very, well, it's not a very uncomfortable place, but it's an adventure, I guess. And I hope you get all the things that you really want. And especially, you know, the best things about this cruise is that you're going with your beautiful wife, that's it. Which I feel envy about it. And I hope you got what you really want.
And you can follow the Yellow Cap Journey on his Instagram channel. Yeah, he has more followers than me. So good luck, Yellow Cap Journey guy. Our first really big iceberg that's getting close to the ship. Every once in a while, I'll see a piece of calf off of it. But it's left a trail of little ice cubes way going back. So you can see the tide is kind of going away from the ship. All the little pieces that are broken off of it. Back over here made like a little ice field. Yeah, it's interesting though. And it's warmed up tremendously here. Up on the deck of the ship with the sun reflecting off. It feels like it's 50 degrees now. And after watching the icebergs for, well, it seemed like an hour or so, it's time for dinner. Time to sit back and relax and enjoy some good food. And while you're having dinner, bar service is available. So whatever you want to drink, whether it's soda, beer, wine, cocktails, coffee, anything you want to drink, just tell your waiter, he'll run off and get it. He'll be back in just a few minutes. All you need is your ship card. Everything you buy is charged to your ship card, but they're more than happy to get you whatever you would like. I don't think I recorded it, but whenever you sit down for dinner, your waiter always brings out a basket of bread and fresh butter. He'll set the whole basket right at your table. Tonight for dinner, we changed it up a bit, and Cheryl had the Caesar salad, and I tried the jumbo shrimp cocktail. It was excellent, and Cheryl copied me on the entree, as we both had the filet mignon, and it was excellent. And for dessert tonight, somebody wanted cookies at the buffet. That was me. Tonight's entertainer was Buddy Fitzpatrick. He was a comedian, but yeah, we skipped his shows some of the other night. Not our cup of tea. But what was good was more iceberg watching. So, yeah, we spent a couple more hours watching the icebergs. Iceberg! It may not look like it, but tonight we're party animals. We're staying up late. It's probably after 10 o'clock right here, but it's a little bit easier to stay up whenever that you have a designated driver, a designated cook, and a designated person cleaning up after you. That makes staying up a little bit late easier. And our wild partying night varied wildly from what you might think would happen. Cheryl snuggled up to a book, and of course I sat there looking at the icebergs thinking, if we hit an iceberg and she somehow ends up floating in the ocean on a door, she better move over and make room for me. I'm not going down alone. And as we turn in for the night, we finally realize there's an elephant in the room. But come on, guys, what's with it? Yeah, I'm expecting a penguin. You can't find good help for $4 a day anymore. Thanks for watching, and tune in tomorrow whenever we have day 11 and we finally spot the continent of Antarctica, the most remote place in the world. Thanks for watching.